I think with, you know, the faith, people will be more united, like less barriers, so racism would be done, and yeah, it's just a stronger community life.
Yeah, the future has a lot of hope, and it has more potential for peace.
It's true.
And happiness.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it all comes from like the transformation of the individuals so that they don't see prejudice, and so they can unite, and then they can work together with everyone to build a better society, build better roads, build better schools.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can cease having these divisions between us and have a more united society.
Yeah.
So the community is more engaged with each other rather than apart from each other.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're all striving to get there, really. I personally feel when I'm asked, I say that I'm practicing to be a Baha'i, you know? The service efforts that we're making to build community life and how it transforms the people in the community, and it transforms all of us as well. That was really what made my commitment in the faith so much stronger, is seeing that in action. And it's not just an ideal, but it's a reality that definitely has changes, right? The transformative power of community building, working with others to support that process, changes each and every one of us too. My name is Trinh. I live in Brentwood, Los Angeles, and I direct a Montessori preschool. I was born in 1982 in Vietnam, in a very small village. My family originally are Chinese. My great-grandparents came to Vietnam, so my grandparents, from both mom and dad, are both Chinese, born in Vietnam. So were my parents, and then me. So it kind of got diluted to my generation. I can understand Chinese, but I don't speak it too well. We migrated here to America when I was 9 years old. I'm the only child for my mom and dad. And I do have 5 step-siblings from my dad's side, and they're all in Vietnam right now. After graduating from college, I went back to Vietnam to teach there for a couple years, and that gave me a chance to really reconnect with my dad and get to know his family. We moved to San Gabriel Valley. That's the east side of Los Angeles. That contrast, I think, is quite a unique thing that shaped who I am, because growing up being in a small town village to living here where pretty much it's quite a big city. So it's a big contrast. A funny story about learning the language is that my mom would tell me, I've forgotten, but my mom would say that I would come home some days and feel really sad, and I would tell her that I don't understand anything, nobody understands me, I can't talk to anyone. And then she'd say, but look at you now, you talk like a bird. So as a teenager, that's when she would tell me that story and say, remember when you used to know nothing? You couldn't talk to your friends and you would be so sad, but look, you can do it now. So she used that story to encourage me to, get over anything. Actually, my mom is a very devout Buddhist, and as far as I can remember, I've always been with her to temples, and she would tell me that I can meditate even as young as a 5-year-old. Even up to teenage years, every year my mom and I have this kind of like a retreat where we go to different temples together for a couple days. And so we would just like go to a couple temples, we stay overnight, and we go to another temple. And it's been that tradition all the way to when I was in college. I was definitely very interested in the mind and how it works. And then I find that in psychology, I learned so many of these mental illnesses linking to childhood incidences. And then, of course, my mom's a teacher, and then I got really interested in learning about children. So I chose teaching. If you can provide a good, solid foundation early on, it's prevention and not going to psychotherapy, which is then a little too late, I would say. So after that, I worked for the public school system, the Los Angeles Unified School District, and I was not quite happy with what I learned about child development and how the school system function. It just doesn't quite click, you know. So after a couple years, I decided to move back to Vietnam to teach, and I got a job at an international school there. I taught a kindergarten. I taught the kindergarten class, and there I found out about the Montessori method, and right away I fell in love with the Montessori method. It just, to me, it fits so much with what the natural processes of child development, how a child can grow and develop to their most capacity. The children can just independently pick the material and work with it. And it's not traditional where the teacher is in the front and teach all the kids at one time about one thing. Because everyone's different, they learn at a different pace. That's the idea of Montessori. Moved to India to do the training there. So I was trained in India. When I decided to move back to Vietnam, that was a huge decision where my family was not quite happy that I moved back to Vietnam. But it was such a strong intuition, I would say now, that I needed to do that. And it felt like it was a domino effect. The minute that I stayed true to that inner calling, let's say, everything else just really panned out exactly as it did. Looking back now, I see the purpose. So in Vietnam, I found out about Montessori, and then that led me to India. And during these time, I was really searching. I was looking for, let's say, truth. I was really trying to understand life, like the purpose of me being here in this world. think India really helped with that. A lot of the people I met there, they're very spiritually in tuned. And it was India that I went to my first Christian mass for Christmas. It was in India that I went to the mountains to meditate with the Brahma Kumaris. And so I was really searching, in different areas to broaden my spiritual understanding of the purpose of life. And then in Hong Kong, I met another Montessori teacher. Her name is Katie Poiret. She is a Baha'i. And I was like, what's a Baha'i? And that's when I started learning about the faith. Katie introduced me to the Baha'i community there, and everybody was just so amazing and lovely, and I fell in love with everything, and I agree with everything, all the principles, and the understanding was just, yeah, I believe this. This is exactly what I've been learning and understanding from all my travels and search, right? From understanding different religion, feeling that core it's the same. So I agree.
Unite and bind together the hearts. Unite and bind together the hearts.
We started book 1, but we couldn't finish it because we both moved out of Hong Kong. I came back home to California. But she's so amazing. She kept in touch, and she just really developed a strong friendship with me. And it was definitely easy for me to feel the same for her because she's just an amazing person. So our friendship grew, and we kept in touch a year after. Her hometown is in Sacramento, so we actually met up in California when she's visiting from China at that time. And during that one time, I remember we were walking along the beach, and I was feeling kind of just empty. And I said, I'm really looking towards to being connected to a community, doing some service, or just really working with a group of youth or something like that. And Katie's like, oh, it sounds like you really want to do the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program. Like, what is that? So she told me, yeah, it's, so she told me about the program. And she said, I'm sure there are Baha'is in your area that you can be in contact with and check them out. And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So I was living in Irvine in Orange County. I Googled Baha'is in Irvine, and I met with amazing people there. And that was in 2013 when the youth conferences were happening worldwide. So within weeks, I was invited to the youth conferences, and everything kind of just quickly fell into place. I kind of just got plugged straight into the community building processes that was happening in Orange County. I went door to door talking about the Baha'i faith where I barely knew a little bit about it, and it gave me so much energy. And then I started taking all the books, finished book 1, took book 5, I animated, I had my own junior youth group for about 3 years. And then after a year, I've kind of, with meditation and reflection, I thought, I'm with the Baha'is on Monday. I do this Ruhi book. I have devotionals. I think I'm a Baha'i. So I called some really close friends who've been accompanying me together for a devotional. And I told them that I would like to declare. And so signed a card. I said, I believe in Baha'u'llah. Sina and I, we were really good friends, close friends for a long while. We met at the LA Baha'i Center. We pretty much stayed good friends for a very long time until a couple years later, I guess. Then we really wanted to know each other more. We actually didn't quite get to marriage yet until I moved to Hawaii. This somehow feels very weird because he's standing right there. And so while living in Honolulu, I think that's when I realized that, oh, okay, this would work. So that's when I reconnected with him, and we had a serious conversation about moving forward. And so we decided to ask our parents for permission and get married. So from there I moved back from Honolulu. I moved back here to California, and that was a year and a half or so ago. We serve humanity in any way possible, either through our work or volunteer work besides, right? In profession or non-professional ways. Yeah, we just really strive to be the best version of ourselves, strive for excellence so that we can make change in the community and the world, but really through us first. That's what I see. It doesn't matter where you come from, as long as your heart is searching, the answer will come to you like a breeze.